Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Samantha. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really happy and really excited to have you here because I have another DIY for you. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to make an amazing mint and basil hair growth oil. So this is on the back of us making that wonderful mint and basil hair growth spray. And one of the reasons I wanted to show you this recipe is so that you can make the oil, and this will really complement the spray if you use them together. You don't have to, of course, if you're not the kind of person who likes using oils, that's fine. But if you use the spray and the oil together, you're going to get even better benefits. But before we get into the video, I just want to take a moment to thank my subscribers because your support means the world to me. So each and every one of you who has subscribed, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I also want to thank everybody who engages, so everybody who comes and comments, gives the video a thumbs up. I appreciate that as well. If you haven't subscribed as yet, then please do subscribe, and also please give the video a thumbs up. So our first ingredient is going to be basil, which is really amazing when it comes to hair growth. So this can help to stimulate scalp circulation, and as we know, scalp circulation is key to hair growth. So it helps to rejuvenate the hair follicles, and by improving the blood supply to the hair follicles, it can stimulate growth and also help hair to grow back in bold patches. It also has antifungal, antibacterial, and anti-inflammatory properties, so it can help to treat things like dandruff and an itchy scalp. So it's really amazing. The next ingredient is mint, which I've talked about before. Mint is another amazing herb because it can also stimulate scalp circulation and help hair to grow, and it's also another effective treatment for alopecia. And just like basil, mint also has antibacterial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory properties, which are also helpful in the treatment of not just alopecia, but also for the treatment of dandruff, itchy scalp, and flaking scalp. Next, we're going to use some sunflower oil or any other oil of your choice that is a good penetrating oil. I love sunflower oil because it's very light, very penetrating, and it can also help hair to retain moisture. And it's one of the best oils when it comes to absorbing nutrients, etc., from herbs and spices. That's why I love using it. But you can use other things like almond oil or even olive oil. And then we need a heat-resistant jar because we're going to warm things up. So first of all, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the basil into the jar. And then I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the mint. And then I'm going to pour enough oil to cover the herbs so that the herbs are completely submerged. So you don't actually have to measure the amount of oil as such, but if you want an idea of how much to put in, then I would say about 1/3 of a cup or even 1/2 a cup should be good enough for the amount of herbs that we've put in there. So next we're going to just mix everything up and then warm everything up. And the reason we want to warm them up is to activate the herbs so that they expand and absorb the oil, and that way the oil would then get all the nutrients out of the herbs during the cooling down process. So I'm just going to put it into a pot of boiling water and leave it there for about 10-15 minutes, not any longer than that because you don't want to overcook the herbs. And then once the 15 minutes are up, I'm just going to allow everything to cool down completely and allow it to infuse. So during the infusion process, you do want to avoid the mixture from being in direct sunlight. So you can either cover with a towel like I did, or you can actually put it in a dark cupboard. The direct sunlight can affect the chlorophyll in the herbs, and that's why you want to keep it covered or in a dark place. And then you allow it to infuse for about 5 days or even a week. I allowed mine to infuse for a week because I wanted as much of the goodness from the herbs to get into the oil. And as you can see, the oil has taken on the color of the herbs, and you can also see that there are tiny little particles in there. So I'm going to show you a good way to completely remove particles so that you remain with oil that's very, very clean. Obviously, this is just one way to do it. There's so many ways, and you just do what works for you. But if you've been wondering how you can do it, then this is a good way. So first of all, I just put the the pair of tights into the jar, and then I place the piece of paper towel over it, and then a tea strainer over that. So the tea strainer is going to catch most of the herbs, and then the paper towel is going to catch the tiny little particles which have passed through the strainer, and then you'll be left with really clean oil. So I will warn you that this is a bit more wasteful because the paper is going to soak some of the oil, but if you want clean oil, then this step is really worth it. Obviously, the paper becomes quite fragile, so be careful. Don't squeeze it too hard, otherwise it'll burst and that becomes a pointless exercise. Another option would be to use coffee filter paper that's stronger. Or if you don't have either, then you can use very, very fine cotton fabric. That also works as well. But again, you will still lose a little bit more oil. So this is the sediment I was telling you about. Look at that. You wouldn't want that anywhere near your hair. So I'm just going to finish off straining the oil, and then once we're done, I'll come back and I'll show you what it's like and how we're going to use it. And that's it. We are done. Look at that oil. Gorgeous, gorgeous color. Our beautiful mint and basil hair growth oil that's going to make your hair grow like crazy. So I'm just going to store this in this bottle, which is dark colored. And that's always a good idea because then, again, it'll be protected from the direct sunlight. If you don't have a dark colored bottle, don't go out of your way to get one. Just make sure that you keep your oil in a dark cupboard away from direct sunlight, and that'll be absolutely fine. So now I'm going to show you how to use it, and you can use this oil in so many different ways. It is so versatile. You can use it as a pre-poo or hot oil treatment. It will work beautifully for that. You can also add it to your deep conditioners, and that will make them nice and richer. And you can also use it for scalp massages. I've put a link in the description box to a video in which I showed you how I do scalp massages for growth. So you can watch that after this video. But you can also just use this oil as a scalp emollient, so just to nourish your scalp, keep it healthy, and also just to use it in any other way that you use a growth oil. So I start off by just adding a bit of moisture to my hair. This is the mint and basil hair growth spray. I'll put a link to that video in the description box so you can make it as well. And I'm literally just applying the moisture as I would normally. And then once I've finished doing that, I'll just apply some of the oil onto the scalp and massage very gently. And then I'll make sure that I seal the moisture in with a little bit of the oil. So keep watching so that you see exactly how I use the oil, and also so that you see what you can do with the herbs that we strained, because we're not going to throw them away just yet. So that's me done, and I can tell you my hair feels amazing and my scalp feels amazing. It feels really moisturized and healthy. So now I'm going to show you how you can use the herbs that we just strained. So we're not going to waste anything just yet. You can either use it to make the hair growth spray. There's a link in the description box below, or you can actually use it to make more of the mint and basil oil. So if you're going to make the oil, all you do is just put the herbs back into the jar and then add the same amount of oil as you added before. So about 1/3 of a cup or even half a cup, to make sure that the herbs are completely submerged. And then you're just going to shake everything up or stir everything up. And then this time we're not warming anything up because we don't want to overcook the herbs. If we warm them up again, you'll end up overcooking them. So instead, we're just going to shake everything up and allow it to infuse in a dark cupboard for 2 weeks. So it's a good idea to make another batch immediately so that, you know, by the time you've finished your current batch, this will be ready for you to use in a couple of weeks' time. You can leave it for longer, that's absolutely fine, but you need to leave it to infuse for a minimum of 2 weeks, and at least once a week, just shake it up to help it to infuse properly. And then you just strain it as you did before, and you'll have more oil. So you can actually make 2 batches of oil with the same amount of herbs. Isn't that great? So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you found that interesting and useful. Again, if you've not yet subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. And also please give the video a thumbs up. That really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to be one of the first to know when I have a new video on the channel, just sign up for notifications. So until next time, my lovelies, you take care of yourselves and take care of your loved ones. Bye for now.